here.
Can you hear me now? Wait a second. Okay, how about now? Okay, that should be right. Every time I try to switch from the StreamYard or Restream or something like that and go back to OBS, which is what I'm in here, always gotta change the microphones around and all that kind of good stuff. It can get a little daunting. All right, everybody can hear me good. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Michael Burkeen, thank you. Ryan's for Spookfest, always good to see you, man. Rawside, Laura, thank you so much for coming in. Mason, paranormal engineer, thank you for being here. Thank y'all very much. It really does mean a whole lot. It really does. I can't really express it enough. Let's go ahead and skip to the rules, which you already know the rules, but if anybody else is watching this after the fact, play nice or kick rocks. No drama here from anywhere else. We don't do drama. We just do the truth. No politics. It's your opinion. Keep it to yourself. I'll protect your right to do it, but, protect your right to say whatever you got to say. Just don't say it here. No spamming for anything else other than what's in the community and related to the topics. Hey, Raven, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Respect the moderators. They're here because they are trusted. They know what they're doing. You already know about the violations. First time we warn you, second time you get muted, and third times we kick you out. So please play nice if you're first one coming to the channel. So let's see here. Can anybody see? Okay, yes, we can see the chat. Let me adjust that real quick. I don't know if y'all can see that very well on your screen. I had another project what I was working on. Yeah, hey, Mr. Prism. Yeah, right now it is all moderators. But every single one of you do a great job. Sarah Bobera, thank you for coming in. One who's not a moderator yet, possibly. Yes, every one of y'all are really good at what you do, so I trust you completely. You're also going to be a lot quicker on this because I'm going to be focusing on talking about stuff. And my topic this evening, why should we even be doing any experimentation in the paranormal? And it's something that's been on my mind. It's been on a lot of people's mind. Do I think, or am I trying to say that we shouldn't be doing it? Absolutely not. We should be doing it. We should be doing more testing. More people should be testing. More types of tests should be done. more types of equipment should be being used. But let's say that you do have all the equipment that you need to test every bit of the environment. You've checked it out. You have no reason for anything to be going off, yet things are going off. You're looking at some of your equipment and you're getting readings that don't correlate with anything that's going on. You've controlled the environment as best you can. There's nothing there that shouldn't be. You're not getting radio signals. You're not getting any kind of EMF. You're not getting anything. Hold on. Sorry. You check the weather. You check the space weather. You've checked the infrasounds. You've checked everything. And you say, okay, I have readings here from my calibrated equipment. Something's going on that should not be going on. Somebody is still going to say that, well, you're not reading it right, or no, that's not paranormal at all. That's just plain normal. Where do we draw the line at, hey, this is something to look into, and hey, you're wasting your time, there's just nothing there? And I think we're starting to reach that point, because there's a lot of people working on a lot of electronics out there, doing a lot of different tests. I found a channel yesterday, Hobby Paranormal. Okay. Talk back and forth with him for a little bit in the comments. Watch some of his videos. He's taking the regular ghost detecting tools and standing them up on their end in ways I didn't even think about. The guy is he's being brilliant with what he's doing, and I've actually learned a little bit from him. He's working on one piece of equipment that is to detect static change in the air, the charge in the air. And electric charge in the air is a real thing. It is a definite thing you want to check out. There have been experiments done. I don't remember the experiment. I think it was a college that did it. They had a Van de Graaff generator, which can create thousands on top of thousands of volts of electricity, but it's low amp, so it's not going to hurt anybody. But they would turn it on in the room with the person, and of course they don't make a lot of noise. People that were sitting there blindfolded, not knowing what was going on, said they felt something was in the room. As soon as the electric charge came up, they said they could feel something in the room with them, and it was nothing but electrons. What's the channel's name? Hobby Paranormal. Let me put their @ in here. Let me type word normal, right? I got to type normal. I'm just going to go ahead and put the okay, that should be his channel right there. Felt like you got, yeah, you got a little bit of amperage there, Mr. Prism, if that happened. But anyway, it was just high electric charge, and they said that they felt a presence in the room. Natural EMF meters, and this was brought up the other day. The electromagnetic field, okay, EMF, electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic. Electric charge and magnetism are two sides of the same coin. And when you mess with one, the other reacts. It's exactly how electric motors can be generators, and generators can act like electric motors. You apply power, you set up a magnetic field, you turn the shaft. On the flip side, you turn that shaft, you move a magnetic field in a wire, and you move a charge. That they're directly related. So electromagnetic field is what it is. This is a natural EMF meter. And whenever they say natural EMF, what that basically means is you're dealing with electric charge. You're not dealing with a magnetic field. And you can have a static magnetic field, just like a very giant magnet just sitting there, and you've got a magnetic field around it. Your EMF meter will never go off unless you move through that field. You actually have to take the meter and move it in the field. So if you have an EMF meter going off and blinking and all that kind of good stuff, then you have an alternate current going on, which most likely means that it's man-made, because it was Tesla that gave us alternate current. Edison was trying to give us direct current, and direct current would set up a static field, and you would have to move your meter through it. So EMF meters are really a thing for alternate current. Outside of that, you're just detecting charge. And you can use something called an electric, what do they call that? Basically, it's a piece of material that has a static electric charge, like a magnet uh, has a magnetic field on it. These have a static charge on it, and you will get negative charge on one side and positive charge on the other. They actually use these in, well, condenser microphones. Any kind of capacitive microphone has one of those in there. You speak into it, your voice hits the plate, it vibrates against that, and it moves back and forth through that charge. So you have microphones that use the static charge, and microphones that use magnetic charge. They have a coil that vibrates on a magnet. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, the other side of EMF that most people and most of these little devices that they put out on the market, that's what they detect is an alternate current. And some of them, and this brings us back around to the ever famous REM pod, it's actually detecting an electric charge. Capacitance is what it's really detecting. The REM pod is a theorem, basically. Okay, no problem, Laura. Let's see. So, do most EMF detectors used by ghost hunters detect natural EMF? I've noticed people asking, and I did not have an answer. Some of them do. When you hear natural EMF, it's detecting electric charge. And a REM pod is actually, you can really mess it up with an electric charge. If you had one of those electric blocks with a static charge on it and you threw it at the REM pod, it'd go nuts. A theremin circuit is basically a coal pit oscillator. Sometimes what is the other one that they use? It's a lot like a coal pit oscillator, but basically it's a LC circuit that uses a coil and a, hey Candy, lurk all you want. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming in. An LC circuit has a coil on one side and a capacitor on the other. And they have a resonant frequency. And what it means is when you run electricity through a capacitor, it charges up. It'll discharge into the coil, which sets up in a magnetic field. When the energy drops, that field collapses, causing an electric charge, which will send a reverse voltage back into the capacitor, which will drop again, go to the coil, and back and forth. That's the resonant frequency. And that's exactly how the oscillators work inside of a theremin and by proxy a REM pod. The antenna is connected directly to the capacitor on these circuits. So whenever your hand gets close to it, because you're conductive, you're sending a charge to the capacitor, and that either speeds up. Is this better, Prism? It either speeds up the frequency or slows it down, depending upon how you have it. But that change in the frequency on that oscillator, that is where you are getting your reading. So what counts as natural EMF? Static charge, electric charge. Here's something you definitely need to look into, okay? If you have, let me give you an example. Sorry, I'm all over the place, people. I blame the caffeine. In 1980, at a 3M tape factory, like, you know, 3M company that makes the tape, like packing tape, stuff like that, they had a few machines running. One of them had some rolls unrolling so that they can cut them up into strips. The machine was just moving, and I mean these things, they run fast whenever they're pulling that plastic off the roll. So there was a bit of commotion that was noticed. Uh, People couldn't walk near this machine because as soon as they got close to it, get some tea. Yeah, I need to get some tea. When they tried to walk close to this machine, something would stop them. Something like a cushion in the air. They couldn't get through it. They would even sit back and throw things at this field, and things would bounce off of it. And whenever the main managers come down to see what was going on, he tested it, and yeah, sure enough, it was like a force field of some kind. The more they got into it, the more it would push back. Come to find out, the grounding on the system was not correct, so there was a net negative charge of electrons just sitting there. Now, you would think it would find some kind of metal or something and drain out, but in this case, somehow it was just insulated into the air. It was right there. Nobody could get through it. They had to turn the machine off and let it all drain. But electric charge is a real big thing. So you have a case where you can get enough electrons where it'll actually start pushing back. And then you can get a case where you get enough electrons and it feels like somebody's in the room. So this is something that we need to do more experimenting on. But if you start doing these experiments and whatnot and you get all these findings, it's still going to get dismissed in general. Because where do you draw the line at what's acceptable as information or evidence? And we've got to clearly define this if we're going to move forward into this, because we're going through it's pure speculation on everybody's part, and I mean everybody's part. We're speculating that we don't have a steady, dependable database to put all this information in. We don't have a format for which the information should be presented. Most everything that we have, as far as what we can afford, is consumer grade, and most consumer grade is not calibrated in any way, and you really can't calibrate it. So we have a problem when we run these experiments. What good is it going to do if it's not going to be taken serious? So that's my biggest issue with it right now. Do I have suggestions? Got a few ideas. Not sure they're going to be followed, but got to start somewhere. There's a few websites out there that say that they are a paranormal information database, and I have not checked into them, but that's what they were claiming. As a guy who had lightning go through him as a kid, I can say electric charge is no fun. Been there. I've been hit by everything except lightning. So up to 800 volts DC, I think is what went through me. Yeah. It was a capacitor, but still, I felt it. Let's see. Look into analytic statistics. There are plenty of free courses on YouTube. Yeah, and that's something that needs to be looked into. Most of the equipment that we also have, you're going to read it while it's happening, and then what? How do you send that to somebody? You would have to have a camera on it all the time and then send that in. And then in that case, they're going to be saying, well, all I saw was the meter on the camera. I didn't see the whole area. There again, we have the problem. There's something stopping it from happening. Let's see. I've stopped trying to prove anything. Just want more experience and maybe catching them on camera. Believe or not, or if can figure out natural causes, that's great. Some of it is natural causes, but what if some of it's not? We can't tell with the current information set. Um, YouTube Police. Hey, thank you for coming in, man. Very good to see you. Everybody, this is YouTube Police. Uh, Mind your manners or he's got you. No, I'm just kidding. He's not associated with YouTube. Uh, but yeah, if you want to have a good time, he usually does a stream earlier in the day, American time. Always entertaining. He's got a good crew there, so be sure to check him out. Uh, where the heck was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. Trying to record the data and present it in a way that everybody can see what's going on. Thank you, Parasolo. Thank you, Mason. I'm going to preach. No, I'm not going to do my preacher impersonation. I actually have a church right across the street, and some Sunday mornings, they're getting after it. And they know how to sing, too. I'm going to give them that. Ooh, they can, I don't mind listening to them because they can sing. That is awesome. Yes, YouTube Police, check him out. Awesome channel, awesome crew. It's always entertaining. I'll be working on something in here, and I'll be listening because it's always awesome. So thank you for showing up. But storing the data. How are we going to do that? How are we going to present the information? Because you have electric charge, magnetic charge, and I'm going to skip ahead to something else. It's not enough to detect them because things that they have out there are detecting it. All the EMF little devices, the dead bell, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're detecting EMF. But can you tell what's going on with it? Can you tell what the signal is? Can you tell what it sounds like? No, they're not telling you what's going on. I'm gearing a lot of stuff myself to actually be recorded onto an audio track so that I can view it on a spectrogram. Yes. And I can do a large range of frequencies. I can go from 0 all the way up to 44,000, and I can see all of it on the screen. So that covers all of the low EMF, infrasound, ultrasound. It covers it. You know, I mean, you're at 44,000, you're almost at radio frequency up there. Of course, you're not going to get that with audio, but, you know, other things, yeah, you can get it. This box here. I don't know if anybody's seen this or not. I don't think I showed it to very many people. This is a amplifier, an audio amplifier, stereo audio amplifier that I built. And basically all it does is there's the volume control. Here is a 3.5 millimeter TRS microphone hookup. Turn it back off. That's the charging port. There's where you have the line out or headphones. And this is for specialized powered microphones. Okay, it's just a little 4-pin connector there. Okay, and that's all this is. This is just an amplifier device. It's got a little, you know, lanyard on it. I can wear it like that. Let's see. I run the line out into my Tascam recorder and hook my headphones up to the Tascam recorder so I can hear what's being recorded on that. And as far as the input, this is a little probe that I built. No, not that kind of probe, Ryan. Stop. You and your alien stuff. Anyway, it's got that. What the 4-pin port does is it has audio, left, right, ground, and power. So the power comes from the batteries in the box up to whatever probe I've got built. This one, you see that? Probably can't see into it. No, can't really see in it. Maybe there, maybe. Anyway, it's got a coil in there. This literally converts electromagnetic fields, magnetic side of it, directly into audio whenever it goes through this box, and I can record it and analyze it later. I can see if there's any kind of, uh, if you have digital data coming through, you'll see the blocks of data at a particular frequency. Uh, so right there, right away, I can already tell what kind of RF or EMF interference I'm getting. If it's an audio signal, I'll be able to see that. I'll be able to isolate it. I'll be able to remove the noise. I'll be able to look at the signal, convert it to audio. You know, REM pod's not going to do that. Cat ball, sure as hell ain't going to do that. Okay. Let's see. Ryan says, that's my biggest problem. Sorry, I got to look around. I got my camera right here, and the chat's like behind it. See, that's my biggest problem. Need more angles or recorders. I have caught what I'll call paranormal, but it's just one source. That's true. Hey, Sheila, thank you for coming in. It's always good to see you. Um, yeah, that's one thing we need to do. We need to start not just recording changes. We need to record what that change was, what the signal was. Because on every kind of field, moving field, static field, whatever, it has some kind of variance going on. There's a gradient from extreme to nothing. Okay, there's a gradient in its amplitude and its frequency, whatever. There's a gradient in the change. That's what we want to see. Okay, if you're going to find something that is paranormal, you're going to have to eliminate what is normal, and you cannot do that with a little blinking light or a little buzz or anything like that that's going off, or music playing on a box. You're not going to tell what that change was. So we need to start changing our equipment, changing the way that we record the data, change the way that we store it, look back at it, all of that. And this is my process. This is my testing. But is it worth it? Is it going to be worth it for me to do this? Is it going to lay the foundation for somebody else's work? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll do all of this and then have my name forgotten 10 years after I die, and, nothing's ever looked at. But it satisfies me to check all this out. And when it comes down to the paranormal, if there was nobody else looking, nobody else worried about it, nobody else even knew you existed or knew that you were doing any kind of research, would you still do it? Who are you doing this research for? Is it for the sake of just doing it? Is it for your own curiosity? Is it for prosperity? Is it for what? For publicity or clicks and views? And there are channels out there that they're legitimately trying to find the answer, but they're legitimately trying to make a living too. Got nothing against trying to make a living. Nothing against that at all. Okay, so if your channel's monetized or something like that or whatever, not knocking you, proud of you, a little envious, might be a little jealous, But anyway, but who are you doing the research for and why? So we need to find better ways of not just collecting the information, but ways of storing the information and ways of presenting the information. And of course, you're going to have a bunch saying, well, none of your stuff's calibrated. Okay, no, it's not going to be calibrated. Okay, I don't even know what the microhenry is on this coil. So next time, try, hey, I've got to get out of jail free. Yep, yeah, I may have to do that. Judge didn't find it very funny, but hey, bailiff was smiling. Just kidding. But I don't know what the value is on this coil. It's 100 turns on about an inch and a quarter long bolt. I can measure it. I can see what it is. I just haven't. But it also the coil goes in here, and there's a little one transistor, and I do know that that is a 100 times uh, amplifier. Is it doing 100 times amplification on whatever comes in? Probably not. Um, but anyway, trying to get everything calibrated with consumer grade electronics, and I'm limited on my equipment. I used to have very nice stuff. Got flooded. I had an oscilloscope with a screen like that. Loved that thing. And now my oscilloscope is that. That's my oscilloscope. Very limited. Yeah, it shows me a signal. It does what I'm working on here, but if we make this stuff, and we do, we need to make this new equipment. We need to make stuff that's better. Um, but we definitely need to get on it, and quit spending all the money on the useless stuff that's not telling you anything. Okay. Now, if you want to do it for fun and you like using it and you believe in it, I'm not going to make you stop doing that. I will tell you that in the beginning, again, I made my own little bitty things, and I thought all of it was a ghost, and I was sorely wrong. And I was, trying to wipe the egg off my face after I figured out that it was just natural stuff causing it. It wasn't ghost doing it. But I also didn't think at the time that, hey, let's look at the signal and see what it was. Because I know a lot of the places that I go to or went to in those times, there were ham operators around. May have just been radio signals, but how am I going to know that? Paranormal Simulations, thank you for coming in. Paranormal Simulations, am I subscribed to you? I know I've seen that name around. Definitely seen that name around. But thank you for coming in. Thank you, and sorry for my droning on and on and on about this stuff. All good, all good. But how would you find out? Let's see, Friday House. What type of invention would you like to see invented for paranormal investigators? So many things. I'm on her Discord. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes, I am. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So many things I want to see. It's unreal. I want to see a change in the equipment as far as how it records the data. Because recording it and converting it into different ways so that it can be viewed in different ways will give you more information about the signal that was received. Because you can have a EMF field or a radio field, which is technically an EMF field because it's all electromagnetic radiation, even light. Okay, it's all EMF. When you get down to it, it's all EMF. But whatever signal you receive, light, radio, electrostatic, magnetic, whatever, it's carrying information on it. It's modulated somehow. The frequency's changed with information, or the amplitude is changed with information, but all of this can be viewed depending upon how the information is stored. So what I want to see is equipment that's going to record the signal and preserve it where it can be reviewed later. That's what I want to see. And I do believe that we're going to get there. I'm working on some stuff. Hobby Paranormal's working on some stuff. APRF is working on stuff. There's a few more out there working on stuff that I can't remember the name right now, but there is a few. There is a few that's actually working on this stuff. Is it all going to be identical? No. But if we want all of this to be calibrated, we are going to have to come up with a standard for all of this. And once we have a standard and there is acceptable limitations, well, we're going to have to go by that. I mean, if you go over everything, if you have your devices out there and you've checked everything, and you still cannot explain the signal and you cannot recreate it, is that going to be called paranormal? Probably not. Because at the end of the day, here's the biggest problem. We still don't know if it's paranormal or not. So even then, we still cannot get proof of paranormal, even if we change all of this, go through all the trouble, change the formats, change the way we report it, change the way we go over it, have it put out there so that experts in the field can go over all of it. They can look at the schematics for the device and get the measurements from it so that they can compare it to their data. All of that. We still cannot say, hey, this signal that I got here, everything's ruled out. Is it a ghost? Let's see. Sheila says, I would love to see someone set up many cameras and angles in a known haunted location and turn them on, and then securely lock building location. I see the evidence. Yeah, that's a walk away, I think. All good, YouTube police. Yeah, a lot of people do that. I think Dawson's done that before. But yeah, there's a few of them that have set up all the cameras and have walked away. You have a minute chance of getting anything whenever that happens. I mean, it is so, because look at all the actual paranormal events, or perceived, let me put it this way, all the perceived paranormal events in your life compared to the time you've spent alive up to this point. Okay, it is like 0.00000. I don't know how far down. It's a tiny percent of your time that you experience that. So if you were to set up all those cameras and everything and leave them running, that's going to be just another small fraction, because if you put them both on a timeline, they would be so close in size you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the one event that lasted a few seconds and those few hours compared to the rest of your life. So it's a minute chance that you will ever catch anything, because there's some people that go their entire life and never had a paranormal event happen to them, or so they said. You know, maybe it did, they didn't notice it, or they just explained it away or whatever, if it was paranormal. See, Julie says the paranormal will never be proven. There are no experts in the paranormal. I agree. It'll never be proven. It'll never be accepted as proof. Let's put it that way. It will never be accepted as proof. Sorry, I got lost in thought there. My sister would say it's because it's unfamiliar territory. Yeah, it's never really going to be considered proof. And you go back. We also got to stop and think about, we have to come up with an authority on this. Who is going to say that, yes, this is possibly paranormal, or no, that's probably not? Because you're never going to have a solid yes or a solid no. It's going to be a percentage. It's going to be a chance of probability on any of this. How likely is it to be paranormal? How likely is it to be natural? You got to look at that. But we're going to have to come up with a standard and some authoritative figure that can make the call on information that's found. So we're actually going to have to create an institution for this. You know, if you bring your data from your mostly calibrated equipment and you present it to them with everything else that you got, they would have to go over it. Specialists in different fields would have to go over it. I'm sure that a lot of the devices that people are using for this, they're going to have exact copies of it, uh, have engineers go over it. Um, yeah, it's going to be a massive undertaking before we can actually come up with something that's going to give a yes or no on this. Almost lost an eye. Laura, are you okay? What the heck happened? No, it was it is it my face that put your eye out? No. Anyway, let's see. Sir Spookfest, if you go to a location enough and learn what naturally goes on and still get something out of the ordinary, almost anything, not on equipment, I look at differently, more credible. And I have done that before myself. Let's see. Michael says, if had the parent, yeah, if I had the permission because it's not my land, but if also had the cameras, I would definitely do that at the undiscovered Native American burial mound. Okay. And that would be awesome. It really would. Uriah says, what's great is looking at both sides. I like debunking. I also have experienced things I know are paranormal, but we can work together and get better understanding of these things. I agree. We do need to start working together and quit treating this like it's a religion. And there are people out there that do. You say anything that goes against the way they think, and they get defensive about it instead of looking at the information. Julie, James, they have tried it in the UK decades ago. It will never happen. Uh, the first person that had come up with toilet paper, they laughed at it. They never took the idea, and it wasn't until after the World Wars that toilet paper actually become a thing. And that was, I think, almost in the 50s. So first attempt usually doesn't work, but that doesn't mean that we should stop trying. And that's just my take on it. The paranormal simulations, haunted people syndrome, and parapsychology fascinate me as concepts and theories. Trauma, PTSD, and the nervous system affects the brain more than people seem to realize. You are completely correct on that, and I wanted to go a little bit further with that. I'm going to finish reading these comments, then I'm going to come back to that. Sheila, I lived next to a large cemetery for 8 years. Had many experiences. I even called the cemetery and asked for names that had popped into my dreams. It was crazy. I don't know if you could find it there. I know in my area there is a cemetery roster that has the name of everybody that's buried there. Find a grave. Find a grave. I think it's .com. Look for it. Find a grave, and they have graveyards all over the place with everybody's name that's in it. Check them out. The paranormal simulations, I've managed to debunk several of my paranormal experiences since learning more about PTSD and my nervous system. Yes. And it can play a huge part. Well, let me get back to that. Let's see. When he was worshipped like a god during the TP shortage a few years ago. Oh, yeah. Man, that was stupid. Everybody buying up all the toilet paper. Didn't have to do that. Just get what you need and leave the rest for everybody else. Then there won't be a shortage. I don't follow trends. Okay, anyway. Paranormal simulations. What you're saying about the nervous system. All right. The brain. Only reason it gets vision is because of the eyes. Only reason it gets audio is because of the ears. You can feel everything from tactile. You can smell and taste, which I'm going to lump those together because they work off each other because of chemical reaction. All of these get turned into electrical signals and sent to the brain. Your brain is electric. Electric charge, EMF. Yeah, your brain works on receiving signals. When these signals are all cut off, the brain, there'll be no vision, there'll be no sound, there'll be no tactile information. It will be complete sensory deprivation. Your brain takes electrical signals sent to it and converts a reality from it. And that reality would completely change if you were to change the input that's put into it. And if this sounds like I'm describing the movie The Matrix, yes, they use that analogy in there. If you hook the brain straight up to a computer and it sent all the signals in there, how would you know the difference between reality and what's being sent to you? So your brain is your simulator for this reality, and we all have a simulator. The only reason that we can interact, well, we're all receiving similar information. And we're all pretty well running at the same time, but Einstein proved that all of our clocks do not work at the same time. You can, uh, causality, okay, causality, cause and effect. This, we can all agree that this piece of plastic that I had in my hand fell, landed in my other hand. We can all agree on that. We all saw this, okay? We can all agree that the event happened. We cannot agree on the timing. We cannot agree when it started to fall, how long it fell. And I'm sure if you look at the video is going to have the same thing. Whoever's recording it, or if you go back to YouTube and download it, video is going to say that. But in reality, when you're there, everybody's time feels different. This goes back to the simulator. So, and that's all I wanted to say on that. Let's see. Get some of these comments here. Yeah, what if somebody buys all the toilet paper and it won't be in stock for a long time? That definitely happened here, local Prism. It did. And my household got very desperate there for a minute. Okay, the t-shirts were starting to look pretty good. You know, yeah, it got rough there for a minute. Then there are your cotton socks. Yes. You pop light bulbs a lot. Why do you admit? Why are you popping light bulbs? Stop that. Let's see. How live chatted bully me for the amount of toilet paper I buy in bulk. I mean, I don't agree with them bullying you about it. And if you got to buy it in bulk, that's fine. But people were buying like an entire shelf load of them so that nobody else could get any. And that's oh my god, I'm pretty sure you're not doing that. If you buy it in bulk for yourself and it lasts you a long time, that's smart shopping. But the people around here, oh man, they got stupid with it. Let's see. I've had very weird experience paranormal. Yeah. It's going too fast for me here. See if I can read it from this other screen. Hold on, I'm pulling it back up over here. Come on, computer. The laptop is a little bit slower than the desktop. You see, I've had very weird experiences, paranormal simulations. It's definitely one of those things, changed my view on these things. Glad you're 100%. Yeah. Let's see. Sheila, brain is a very strong, powerful organ. They say everything we have, everything we've seen is stored in there and never forgotten. I wonder if we lose certain abilities as we age. Yes, that ability would be called memory recall. I'm there. I have horrible, horrible memory recall. Let's see. Nothing wrong with having a steady supply of toilet paper. No, there's nothing wrong with having it. As a matter of fact, I highly recommend it. Let's see. The subconscious brain processes so much without our awareness, too. How do we know what's actually happening and what's subconscious suggestion? And you're actually kind of going along with the subject here with that idea. Because seriously, our brain is an instrument, but it can lie to us. Electronics, they're instruments as well, recording information, or they should be recording information. But how it's stored and how it's recalled and how it's reviewed, yeah, it kind of goes along with that. There's some parallels with that. I like that. See, time is reflective to each person. I don't know if reflective is the right word, but I know what you're saying with that, Ryan. Let's see. I don't want to get hours behind the chat here. See, there's three sides of every story: mine, yours, and the truth. In the South, we say yours, mine, and the fence post, which the fence post is the third person just tells the truth. Let's see. It jumped. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't think that every single person out there that has a paranormal experience is because the brain was doing what you said it does. I wasn't saying that's what was causing the paranormal experience. What I was saying was, is the brain is our simulator for this reality. It receives information from our senses. We cut that out or supply it with something else. How does the brain know? And that's all I'm saying on that. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but not every single time. No, it's not every single time. Absolutely not. Um, but there again, how do you measure that? How can we tell? Can we trust our senses on that? Because I've had a few days where I was smelling food. I thought it was a completely different dish. Something, my nose or my brain, one of the two was lying to me, saying it was a completely different dish I was smelling. Uh, I think it was, and my brain was telling me it was like an Italian pasta dish or something like that, which love Italian food. Um, but it was like meatloaf or something like that. Now they have a similar spice palette if they're cooked similar, but yeah, and the brain can lie. But how do you rule that out? You got to be careful with that kind of stuff. No, I'm not saying that every time it's the brain, because I've had things that absolutely wasn't my brain. Like the day that the water was turned on in my bathroom while I was trying to take a bath, and both of them, just both faucets, just turned on while I'm in the tub. I never even touched the sink whenever I got in. So there are things that we can't figure out, and you also with this equipment, how are you going to test that faucet? Okay, because we have a lot of paranormal events that, I mean, you can try to recreate, um, but is recreating proving anything? Okay, it's proving that it can be mimicked. It's proving that it can be recreated. Um, but I can't seem to figure out a way that even if that house still existed, the house is gone. It's long gone. Um, and it's something else. Can't even go back to it to try to check anything out. Uh, so yeah, it's hard to prove any of this. Uh, but the only thing that we can really do on a claim is go in and use Occam's razor. Let's see. It can explain some supposed paranormal experiences, but no one is saying it explains all of it. No, and we can't explain all of it. There are so many different facets, so many different things that can happen, have happened, will happen, and you're never going to be able to cover everything with everything. So that's why when everybody says, okay, well, what do you do on an investigation? What's the claim? Because you're going to have to start there, and then it's going to go into an infinite number of things that it could be. So you start with the claim, you go from there. Let's see, Storm. That's why I always say I don't have to prove anything to anyone. It's my experience, and honestly, I've kept them to myself for practically my entire life. You don't have to keep them to yourself. I don't see why you would. I mean, I talk about mine. If somebody wants to say, well, it was just that, or it's probably just this, okay, sure, duly noted. But I know what I experienced. It didn't feel like that. And I've had a few experiences myself. And those experiences have brought me to this point where I'm sitting here in my office doing live streams, talking about tech all the time, saying that we need to do something, halfway doing something with stuff that I can't calibrate. Yeah, it's led me to this point. Got to get past this point here. But I'm not the only one. There's more out there. I have talked with them. Glad they're out there. Glad they're doing these experiments. I urge them to do the experiments. I urge people to don't be afraid of what somebody's going to say about your experience, your story, or what you're working on. Don't be afraid. If somebody says something, it can either be constructive criticism, but if it's some kind of narcissistic dribble or something, who cares? It's their opinion. Okay. Negative opinions are not helpful, so they only have what power you give them. Let's see. I have 2 vapes, one usually plugged in and one I keep with me. Moon does the same thing. Always has at least 2. I take puffs off one when she's not looking. Don't tell her. Don't tell her I said that. She probably knows already anyway. See, I was in my room, hadn't left the vape. Keep one with me. Is gone. It was found downstairs in the bathroom where I hadn't been. Yeah, and how are you going to recreate that? And even if you did recreate it, is that actually how it happened? Is that going to be proof of it? Some things you got to try to recreate or at least find out how it happened if you're on an actual investigation. If it happens in your home and you're trying to figure out, fine. If you want to figure it out, there's nothing wrong with that. See, Cree vapes are an entity of themselves, or to themselves. Yes, they are. Let's see. Paranormal simulations. That was that loved one's favorite drink. My boyfriend didn't know that. Maybe it's just coincidence, but I like to think it was my loved one's. Don't mean it is, though. Could just be me and my continuing bond. Again, how do you know which is which? It's really hard to tell, and no amount of equipment's going to help you figure that out. Should we keep experimenting with it? Will we make a breakthrough? That's what's on my mind all the time. Is it worth the time? Okay, Pre-Storm. Currently, we are having issues with the kitchen. The cupboards and drawers are open, and we haven't been in the kitchen. I close them, they're open. Hubby close them, they're open. Could put a level on it. If they're the really good drawers, then they should have it's not really a latch, but it's kind of a soft pull whenever you close them. Those are the newer ones anyway. Hold on, I gotta move this lens cap here out of my way. Okay, now I can see chat better. Let's see, we didn't even know it was a thing until my hubby asked me if I was opening them, and I said, no, I thought you were. Crazy, but it is what it is. And that kind of stuff happens. And that's where you would want to set up a DVR with a camera. Just anything to try to detect what's going on. And then you'll know if that drawer opens on its own. Because if it was something unlevel, and they were all unlevel, they would stay open all the daggum time. But if it's just one or another or something like that, well, then you got something. But even if you try to present that online, everybody's going to say, oh, well, I can recreate it over here, so that means it's fake. And that's the problem that we have on the internet. No, I'm not trying to smash at the debunkers. The debunkers are kind of our barrier here against people just going all out and taking complete advantage of the paranormal scene. They're one of our lines of defense. So I'm not saying anything about debunkers. Debunkers do get things wrong. They're human. Okay? They're going to get stuff wrong. It's to be expected. But they do go against some of the people that are just trying to scam everybody, and I get that. Let's see. Some can only say what you experienced didn't happen because they weren't there to experience themselves from Kenny Biddle himself to me. And he's right. And he has seen so many different things. And I get why he is so careful about what he says. um, and Mason as well. If you're still listening, Mason, um, I get why you're very careful with what you say because you want to be accurate. Your entire purpose for this is to be accurate, and that's where most everybody wants to be who's trying to do any of this with any kind of scientific base. They want to be accurate, not necessarily trying to prove anything. Because hey, I am a firm believer in paranormal. I believe that there is far more to existence. I believe that this universe is teeming with life, personally. Can't prove any of it. It's just my personal belief. But if I get some kind of proof that proves me wrong on this, I have to accept that. Um, so yeah, that and a lot of people won't accept some things, and it goes both ways. It's not just believers; it's cynics as well. Straight up, I will refuse to believe anything kind of people out there, and they're there. And then you have some that have one particular belief, and no matter what you try to tell them, they will not believe anything else. Uh, and cynics are no different. It's two sides of the same coin on that as well. So you have your extremes. You have to uh, set them aside because if they're not budging to learn anything new at all, it's what's the point? Okay, if you're gonna hold one solid belief and not look at any evidence and at least try to think about it, um, look at it, make up your own opinion from it. You can't do that and then say that you have any kind of authoritative idea on it. It just doesn't work like that. And a lot of these people have large platforms, and they claim they're part of a certain kind of community, and in the process, they make that community look bad. You have some debunkers and investigators out there who do this kind of stuff, and they kind of give them a bad name. So when another one comes along, people still have that image of the person that was giving them the bad name. Um, so a lot of ghost hunters get that because most of them that are out there hunting, some of them are faking it because they got to have their content because they got to get that money. Okay, and I get it that you got to do that, but it puts a bad impression on the community as a whole, the whole topic of paranormal. And that's where the debunkers are coming along and trying to separate. If anybody's trying to learn about it, they say, hey, no, they faked this and this is how they did it, and here's how I proved how they did it. No, they weren't there. And sometimes the recreation doesn't say that there's any kind of proof, but you got to look at the situation on some of these things. It's Occam's razor when you get down to it. Uh, so yeah, you just got to be practical with it. But some things are quite obviously fake, and they're just trying to get a voice out there and say, "Hey, it's not real. Here's how. Here's why." But the very same people that they're trying to help with that information is the ones that turns on them in the comments. So let's see. I did that when I was in a really bad time in my life and caught myself moving things during a dissociative fatigue. Not saying this was happening for others, but it's a thing. Yeah, pretty much any situation occurs. There are so many different things that can happen with so many different reasons why it can happen. And this is why investigators have to be careful about the information they collect and how it's stored and how it's reviewed and how you describe something. Description is very important when you're trying to record any kind of information. I worked as a jailer, and every 15 minutes, when you're going down the hallway, and you had to have a watch, every 15 minutes you had to write in the log what was going on, and you had to be descriptive. So you spend most of your time writing in that particular place. On an investigation, you really need to hire somebody who knows how to describe things, keep a timestamp, watch what's going on. Just following around and writing everything down If you're doing a team, if you're investigating on your own, well, that person is the three cameras that you have on you to try to catch all the angles. Let's see. Some debunkers think very highly of themselves and do not believe anything. Some do. Some are very open minded. You have all kinds out there. But the ones that are just straight up cynical, well, I mean, you can't really believe everything they say if they're only going to have one outcome. But they also got to be able to show their receipts. They got to be able to say, hey, this is why. And most of them do. Most of the ones that we know, they do. They point it out. Others are just content debunking. And you're looking at content, and the situation is not anything that people normally experience on anything. It's kind of obvious. It's like that rash of mimics that was on TikTok. Think about that. It was a short, brief rash of them for a short time. Wasn't consistent. Wasn't something that normally happens. Most of the time, whenever you get some kind of voice or something like that, a disembodied voice or whatever, it's like one word, one phrase. That's it. It might be a voice that sounds like somebody that lives in the house, but they'll do nothing but like call a name or say hey, and that's it. Not what the TikToks videos were doing. So that's how they were kind of like, oh yeah, this is kind of fake here, because it's not what was reported, historically speaking. So you got to look at the situation on those. Let's see. Back to the comments. Let's see. All right, I got to move this camera a little bit here. Move it up some. All right. Now you can still get scared by my ugly mug and poor video quality. I have the lights down again. Let's see. Ryan, I don't mind saying I've witnessed spirits or paranormal, seen, heard, even with others in the situation. I have witnessed the same. It's good to be skeptical, but there is ghosts and the real paranormal. Rare, but yeah, paranormal is actually very, very rare. See, there is it's healthy to be skeptical. However, there comes a point when you have to ask, are they skeptical or have they become cynical? That's a very thin line, and they got to show their receipts on their thinking on that. If you're going to make a claim, you have to follow it up with, okay, why? It's like if you go look at a court scene, and an accuser comes up and says, they did the murder. Okay, why do you think that? I don't know, just a hunch. It's never going to fly. They've got to present it. They've got to present enough information, and then the jury has to have, well, the jury's got to be unanimous. But we can't be unanimous in this field. I'm going to go ahead and say field. I know it bothers Kenny to hear the word field. I'm going to say field, for lack of a better word. It is a study. I study it, so I can call it a study for me. But yeah, there's never going to be absolutes in this. There's going to be probability. Let's see. I could debunk a lot. Don't want to start drama, but that does grow your channel. The more drama or controversy, the more views. And that is true. If there's some kind of drama going on, everybody turns their head. And a lot of these bigger ghost hunting channels, they know that. So they keep the drama going. Now, I personally, I don't like drama. But when it's happening in the community, yes, I look. That's called situational awareness. To know what's going on. Doesn't mean I like it. I don't like it. And half the time I'll give my opinion and then I'll walk away. That's it. Let's see. Cree, if a debunker is going to debunk, they should figure out exactly what they are. Hunters, investigators, thrill seekers. What they are, because I've seen them all call teams investigators and they aren't. And that's true. That's very true. You got to define what you're doing. I'm not a debunker. I was an investigator, and originally I was a hunter. I guess I can be considered an enthusiast. I don't even know what the heck I am. A studier. I don't know. Let's see. Even the most hardened skeptics that has the hold on. I got to get a drink. Oh, okay. Even the most hardened skeptic has that. Well, one time story. Yes. I've stepped away from most lives for now. I've had to. I've been seeing far too much hypocrisy, and I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. That's whenever you stick to your own study, honestly, because that's what I've had to do several times. If there's things uh, that I don't know, that I'm getting conflicting information, I go and I stick to my own study on, form my own opinion. Don't always say anything, but I have my own opinion on everything that happens. That doesn't mean I'm going to voice it. So I get that. I understand that. I really do. See, the simplest answer isn't always a correct one. And reality, particularly in biology, the social sciences, and quantum mechanics can be highly complex. They can be. Um, Occam's razor, um, well, that's why they use the word usually. Usually, the simplest answer is a correct one. But you got to check that. Let's see. I need another creator to have fake beef with. There's no end to those online. Paranormal is very rare. Yet I watched a debunker go to a jail, hear a cell door close, and that was it. Come out and say nothing happened, ignoring the sound that the door and no one in the area heard. I think I know which one you're talking about, and I think that also happened way back in the day with Taps, when they went to Alcatraz. There was something like that. But I quit watching them because in that very same episode, this black thing got up off the walkway and ran. Ghosts don't have tennis shoes. So I quit watching them. But they were starting to lose views around that time anyway. I'm pretty sure the producers were like, hey, we got to get these numbers up. Let's do this. Um, Ben and Laney, he come forward and said, yeah, it was his producer that said, let's do this. So it does happen. You know, let's see. I've thought about doing a live. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. Just start trouble and see how many views I get. I'll be there. Of course, you know me, Ryan. I'm going to sit there and say that everything you say is wrong just for the heck of saying, no, you're wrong. No, the sky is not blue. No, grass does not grow on the ground, Ryan. You're wrong. Let's see. I don't think things, especially people, fall into neat boxes like that. We just are. They don't fall into actual boxes, but they fall into areas. So we put it that way. And we evolve. Yeah, we do change, but that puts us in another area. And you want to change. You want to change for the better. There's nothing wrong with that. If you just stay on one form of thinking, then you're not growing. Okay, you're not thinking. You're not trying. You're not, you know, expanding in any way. So yes, you want to evolve. Um, but you gotta formulate answers that make sense. See, I am an unusual experienced hunter. I'm not a paranormal researcher or investigator. Okay. Belt Loop 29. Welcome back, good sir. Mother called. Not a problem. Not a problem, man. All good. Let's see. Also had to wait for 5 minutes. Yeah, because you're on a different account. Yes. Yeah, I have that on to kind of alleviate some of the trolls. Uh, and they are bad out here. They attack a lot of channels. They get on Michael Burking's channel sometimes. He has to deal with them. He had to put his on subscribers only. Uh, so I hadn't had to deal with any trolls yet. It's gonna happen though. Let's see, Ryan. Another one I'm thinking of doing in a live chat. Paranormal appreciation. Share the small channels. Share your experiences. Appreciation for all the people out there doing the work. Boots on the ground. That's not a bad idea. Let's see. I wasn't talking about taps. The thing is, rare for activity to happen. Yet they want crazy to happen, and then when it doesn't, they say this place isn't haunted. That isn't fair. Well, that goes right back to what I've been saying, Creed. They got to collect the information. They got to store this information. It's got to be looked at, and even then, and that's the whole topic here of this entire stream that I've done is it worth it? I mean, is all of this study that we're doing here on the ground at the low level in the consumer grade equipment level here, is it going to be worth it in the end? And who are we doing it for? Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in. Nocturnal Frequency Radio, another great live. Absolutely. Thank you for coming in. See, Trolls be trolling. Had that same Lowe's guy come in my channel. Oh, yeah. That's the only person that's blocked on my no, I unblocked them. Yeah, they were blocked for a little bit, and then I unblocked them. Yeah, don't get any bright ideas, Gloves. Anyway, yeah, hit the like button, slap it, abuse it. I can pass out some bats. You can beat the like button with that. I'm okay with it. It can take it. Okay, it's tough. Things made of diamonds. So beat that like button up, slap around that subscribe button. Absolutely. Abuse them. Take all your anguish and anger and hatred and frustrations out on these buttons. Okay, drag them out into the street. Okay. You get the idea. Have you ever seen one debunker that does investigations, do scientific investigations, take data or do whatever they say should be happening scientifically? Not yet. I'm hoping they do. APRF has actually come close to that. Mason has been doing some deeper looking into a lot of this stuff, so he's another one. And he's another one that's got ideas on equipment stuff. So the changes are starting to happen, Creed. They're going to start happening. But this goes back to no, we don't see it. One, I don't really watch investigations. Probably the only investigations that I really watch, I try to keep up with the ones here in the community. Ryan, Michael. I like to watch Dawson. He's always entertaining. But unless the algorithm's pushing them out there, they really don't come across my feed. And I only have so many hours in the day that I have time to sit down and watch stuff. I try to keep up, but it's, I have over 300 subscriptions here. So I can't keep up with everybody. So no, I haven't seen them, Creed, but that doesn't mean we won't in the future. And that's why I'm going to keep talking about it. And whenever I can get out there and start doing some of this with some of these things that I'm doing, with this kind of equipment, I can record some of that, present it, and say, hey, this is what we're picking up here that, we hadn't seen before. But the algorithm wants the drama. It wants the B crap that gets put out there. So the channels that are boring, that talk about the stuff that we're always trying to talk about, they don't push them. They won't put them out there. They want the drama stuff because that's the mindset of the people that watch it. They want paranormal. They want the spooky, shocking, energy filled, and I mean emotionally energy filled, kind of view. That's what they go for the paranormal. I'm the nuts and bolts soldering iron kind of guy. So I've already done the ghost hunting before. It doesn't spark my interest anymore. I want to dig deeper. I want to dive deeper into all this. So that's what I've been doing. I've been studying everything that I can study, multitude of different subjects, and now I'm ready to take some of this information that I've learned and start testing it again. So hopefully other people are at that stage, and that's what we're going to start seeing. It's like the other channel I was talking about. This is starting the change in the way the electronics are built. Okay, that's good. That's the change. And once this kind of stuff starts getting out there and people learn how to do it, that's when we're going to start seeing what everybody's talking about. But if we don't talk about it and keep it current information, then we may never see that change. So all I've ever seen from debunkers investigating is the exact same as everyone else, just with less bells and whistles. So what happened to practicing what you preach? Well, we can all say that food needs to be cheaper. It's kind of one of those universal things. Yeah, food needs to be cheaper. All right. Not everybody knows how to get it there. But if enough people don't get up and say, hey, change this, the people that have the ability to change it might not be inclined to do it. So you want to keep pushing it on the people who can change it. Let's see. It's irresponsible to say a house is haunted, in my opinion, especially if only there are a few hours or at all. Yeah, and that goes back to something I was saying earlier, Steve. Look at and if you took the entire total of minutes or seconds you're alive, okay, you're looking at thousands of these seconds, okay, if not millions. Okay, you take all these seconds that you've been alive. A paranormal event can only take 2 of them, and the chances that you have of having a camera on, a recorder on, or something like that to actually catch it is minuscule. So going into a place for only a few hours, you have a tiny, 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 tiny chance of catching anything that would be legitimately paranormal. Because you go into a location, you don't know the natural noises. You basically have to live there. And most people that have these paranormal events happens in their own home. I can attest to that. Personally. The most paranormal stuff that I have ever done in my entire life happened in my own home. And it hasn't been the same home. It's been in various different places, but it happened in the home. I've had been woke up by the sound of feet running through the house, like literally stomp, 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 stomp down the hallway to my door. I open my eyes, the running goes back. I go and check, and there's nothing in the house. So I know paranormal events can happen. I wouldn't have had any time to have anything on. And if there's something just making the noise, then, CCT cameras aren't going to catch that unless you got a microphone going all the time. And you can't always have that because that's a load of data. That's huge hard drives and backups you got to do, and then hours to go over that stuff. It's mind-boggling. So let's see. You can't complain about teams doing things for clicks and views when you say you look at bigger teams because they bring the views, in my humble opinion. Let's see. Can't complain about teams doing things for clicks. Anybody that has a YouTube channel, they're either trying to get information out there, trying to get attention, or they're trying to make some money. I don't care if a channel's trying to make money. Everybody has to make money. That's the society that we have. Everybody's got to make money. I get that. But you have some that are intentionally trying to fool, and there are some that fake. We all know that there's some that's out there that's fake. And you don't have to have a debunker to tell you whether or not it's fake. If you pay attention, you can tell, okay, hey, something's not right here. It's not right. But the most outlandish stuff is the stuff that YouTube tries to push. So that's why they do it. Some of them, not all of them, but it's like everything else. We have such a huge mix of them. It's never one thing. You have a percentage of this, you have a percentage of that. Sadly, it shouldn't be about the views at all. I agree there. I agree there, Steve. But I mean, everybody is wanting to make money with their channel. I mean, eventually, I would love to, but I'm not going to get monetized through YouTube because they want to control everything, and I don't want them to tell me what I can and can't make videos of. You know, even if they say, well, you're demonetized, but we're still going to run commercials on your space. No. If they're going to still run the commercials, they can still pay me. And if they're going to try to pull that away, no, I'm not doing the monetization. I'm just not. Let's see. My old house was weird in a possible paranormal way. Stuff still happened where I am now, but not as much as that house. My non-believer boyfriend says I'm spooky to live with. Hey, they just enjoy making content. I'm not here for money, attention, or information, but the paranormal, that often is the case. Yeah, and it's not just with paranormal prism. There's a myriad of different topics out there that this same stuff happens over and over. You got liars out there, you got legitimates out there. You're going to have that no matter where you go or what you look at. There's going to be fake, there's going to be real, there's going to be everything in between. So it's going to be the case. But if you're passionate about the subject, you're probably going to be pretty passionate if somebody's trying to profit off of a lie, ruining the image of said topic. And that's what irks me is the ones that are giving the wrong impression about what paranormal really is, and people believe it. You know, I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that. I don't like that. But that's me. I'm not going to tell them, hey, take your channel down. But I will probably say, hey, be honest. You know, if it's just for entertainment, that's fine. Okay, I've seen all the Ghostbusters movies. All right, that's literally straight up entertainment and nothing else. I'm fine with that. They're not trying to say that this is what ghosts do. They make it very clear. But some of these other channels, and especially like the ITC channels that are taking people's tragedies and trying to turn that into their own income there. No, don't do that. That will boil my blood. You know, if you have a family that is grieving and their grief is then put on somebody's channel with a bullshit AI voice that's manipulated with echo and no, 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 draw the line there. I'm sorry. No. I get they're trying to make money, but not off people's grief. Do not do that. That is the most underhanded bullcrap that anybody can do. And talk about something else because that's ticking me off. Let's see. Things will happen in this house I live in, but it can be every day for weeks and then it stops for months. That's how it is. I'm not thinking of a minute I have demons. Yeah, if someone came in here, demon. Yeah. And that's another one of those things that a debunker can come up and say, hey, you're talking bull crap there. You don't know what you're talking about. Because they don't know if it's a demon or what it is. And their little blinking light is not telling them what information is coming in on that EMF that they're picking up. So, yeah, there needs to be a change. And whenever we have an actual change in everything, we got to start somewhere. Let's see, I'll say, Where's it at? I'll say, wish I made money at this. It's my passion, but if I never do, I'll still do the work for personal experience and for the love of it. Nothing wrong with that, Ryan. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see. For some reason, I don't get passionate about most things. It's probably why I really don't have a niche. I don't even start with my live streams with much of a topic. I really just want to hang out with friends. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, seriously, I enjoy your lives just because it's everybody you got in there. You guys are funny. You really are. Love it. Now, I don't say a whole lot, but it's you got pretty good streams. Let's see. I had a friend that I was going to have on the show get demonetized, lose his channel, and I had to cancel a live stream that I booked with him in July because of it. Totally understand. Yeah. Let's see. I know if a channel I'm watching is fake or not. I watch them for different reasons. Some help my muse for writing others. I watch because I am interested in what they might find. And there's nothing wrong with that, Cree. People find different things entertaining. And there's nothing wrong with, watching something because you're watching it, but you don't let it affect you. And that's important there. When you're watching something and it affects you in a negative way or something like that, or leads you down a wrong path, that's different. You're able to observe without letting it affect you, and you make up your own opinion. That's how people should be. But there are people out there that wholeheartedly believe absolutely every single thing that they see, and they get the completely wrong idea. And yeah, it's some of them want to stay with that. They won't move from it. They won't learn anything else. Okay, that's fine. But if people are like, hey, I saw this, is that real? Let's break this down. Okay, I dig into it deep and I said, okay, you want the facts. Here's a cup of tea. Sit down. We're going to be here a minute. Let's see. So if you won the lottery, how would it change your life? I would probably get the 2-ply toilet paper at that point. Probably get brand name coffee. Probably. I'm saying probably. I've actually got a pretty good taste with the stuff that I get. Let's see. What were you saying? Trying to find it where you said that. Losing the chat here. Okay, what I don't understand is that this community talks about unity, about being there for each other, yet the channel's trying to find the truth, get next to no views. It makes no sense to me. Well, yeah, that's going to happen because it's not interesting. It's not turning heads. It's not. Joe did one of the best debunks I ever watched. Hell, he was sued for it. Yet that debunk wasn't really talked about, and that video wasn't pushed out for people to see. Why? Because it didn't turn heads. It wasn't the wreck on the side of the road that everybody wants to watch as they drive by. It's boring. I mean, the stuff that I talk about, always flashing this equipment up here on the screen for a minute and telling you about it gets boring. Because if I actually started opening this up, there's maybe 3 of you that would want to see what was in it, and the rest of you would be bored out of your brain listening to me ramble on about the components and the circuits and what this does and what that does, and when you really try to break stuff down, only the people that are into that are going to pay attention, and those kind of minds are a small percentage of the population because you have a multitude of different kind of minds out. Let's see. Scroll this back a little bit. What things would you do? What would be the first things? Let's see. Kittens, puppies, We have enough of those here, Julie. No more. No more kittens. No more kittens. Uh, Small channels don't make YouTube much money, and it helps to be trending. That's pretty much it. If you're doing your channel and you're trying to get the views and trying to get the money, you have to go up under YouTube's and tickle their, yeah, they got to benefit from it before they're going to make you benefit. Pam Spencer, how you doing? I saw you come in. Uh, Sitting here trying to answer some of these questions here. See, there are many reasons why people sub and don't sub. Why one channel has a lot of subs or watch time. Yeah, there's a lot on there. But you got to present your stuff in an entertaining way. And there you go. So that's what I'm talking about, hypocrisy. Don't bitch about the twins and yet not watch channels like Joe because he's boring. That video was not boring. And you're right. I found it fascinating. And anything Joe Vitale puts out there is awesome. I mean, the stuff that he does, I try to make all of his lives. Joe Vitale knows his stuff. So I'm one of those trying to give him that extra number for sure. But you're talking about the masses here, and the masses, they just don't. So that goes back to my original question: is this worth it? Are we doing any good with trying to do the study? You know, because who's it for? Is it for yourself? Is it for the community? Is it for truth's sake? You know, what is the reason for finding the truth? Because it doesn't matter what you come up with. There's going to be a group that doesn't believe it. That will always happen, no matter what it is. There's always going to be a group of people out there that will never accept it. And you have to expect that and just, okay, if they don't even want to look at it, have a good day. Don't worry about them. Because you'll never convince some people. It's just not going to happen. And some people, you'll never convince them the other way. And that's the extreme you have to not worry about. Don't worry about the extremes out there. You know, if you've got a story and you want to put that story out there, put the story out there. Only you'll know if it's real or not. Let's see. The way the algorithm works is that if you've gotten somebody to watch your content before, they'll show up to some again. Yeah, and they will. The more views you have under your channel, the more likely you are to have new stuff shown to them. Yes. Pam Spencer, agree. I just needed to clean my subscriptions because there are just so many for me to watch. I need to go through and do that too. I've got so many on here, and I'm pretty sure some of these channels don't put anything out there. Some of them I'm subscribed to because I do want to be able to find them quicker, and I cannot remember their names. So, yeah. Let's see. I enjoy watching Joe. I want to braid his hair. Okay, all right, everybody. We need to get Julie the gas money. Go over to Joe Vitale's so she can braid his hair on a live stream. Members only. Absolutely. Ozzy Cat. Yes. Yeah, he was did a live, was it last night or the night before? And he was on with Laura. Yeah, on Raw side. And just before they got off there, I kind of snuck in a question. I was like, so when are you going to start doing your shampoo commercials? I'm asking for a friend. But no, he's got the hair going on. Let's see. But it isn't about YouTube pushing the honest teams out. This community could do it. Go and support the ones you know are really out there for the truth. That's what I'm talking about, not YouTube. Well, I mean, and we try to, and that was one of the main things that we do in the Discord side of this is, you most every channel has a section for community promotion. Uh, Promote yourself, third channel promotion. And that's one step in the right direction there, is to let everybody know, hey, support this. But we have so many people doing so many different things. People only have a certain amount of time in their day for this kind of stuff. So most people, um, yeah, I mean, at least pop in, subscribe, hit like, show some support, leave a comment. Yeah, and I get what you're saying, Cree. And the community could be doing more. It's, you know, it's not going to hurt me either way. I'm not that big of a channel. Uh, let's see. I get that, but like when did that debunk on the postcard and Haunted Hill House, amazing. Yet not one debunker talked about it until he got sued. And see, and that goes back to there was drama. So all good, Laura. All good. Let's see. It gets to the point it is literally impossible to do that. And it can. And the support's awesome. It is. Any kind of support you can give a channel or whatnot, that's great. And the honest ones, yeah, I say go out to the honest ones and give them support, because they absolutely deserve it. I mean, the truth needs support. But usually what is getting most of the support is the entertainment and the drama. And not just this community, it's just YouTube in general. It's all of it. But there's so many facets to try to cover all that on all this. I don't have all the answers because there's too many things to look at. Way too many things. So, but Cree, I do agree, and you make some really good points. I get it. I follow. See, Belt Loop 29. I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison. And okay. Okay, took me a second to catch on what you were doing there. It's a country song, folks. Look up the lyrics. It's the perfect country and western song. My point is, Joe's video wasn't worth talking about until the drama of the lawsuits. So what do people really want? The drama. I mean, I don't know how many more times I can say it. That's and not everybody here, is like that. I mean, and I appreciate every single one of you, everybody that comes in and clicks like, says hi to me, whichever. I appreciate every one of you. I mean, even if it's not on the lives or any of my videos, I appreciate all of you. And I try to surround myself with the good people. And all of you here are good people. I just want to say that. Thank you for being good. Because in this world, the good people, that's all we have is each other. Yeah, that one, Michael. Yeah. Drama farmers, there's a lot out there. Got another call. No problem. Only got another 15 minutes. Holy cow, it's been an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't even do the center break. Ooh. I'm going to push through. Good run. Okay. Have a great week. Thank you for coming by. YouTube police, thank you very much. Awesome. James, I'm not good people. Yeah, you're good people, Prism. Stop that. Let's see. Crazy thing is, people want different things. They will choose. And no, you can't really change it. But I do agree. Joe did a hell of a good job on that, and not many people know about it. He did great. Joe always has good content. So Joe's another good person. Joe Crow Joe. I don't know. Uh, I said I might do a troll chat roast me. Definitely would grow the channel. Ghosts are real. UFOs are real. It's all Bigfoot. There's no ghosts. It's just Bigfoot under a sheet. Yeah, they have their own UFOs. That's it. I don't want to be good. Where's the fun in that? Oh, yeah. And I put my focus on this, on the way the information is being collected. Because one of the biggest pet peeves is device goes off. Well, you don't know what set it off. Well, there's a way to find out. There's a way to see that. And that's to build the device to record the information that came in on the wave that set it off, and then go over it. Look at it. Find certain fingerprints in it, if you will. Match it up to other things, because you can receive light wave signals. You can read the amperage changes on electrical circuits. You can use a hydrophone hooked up to like an outside faucet or something, turn it on, and listen to the water pipes throughout the entire house. Okay, this stuff is doable. People say, well, it feels like I'm being watched all the time. Okay. Get some seismic microphones out there. See if you have any infrasound doing that. Get some ion readers around the house and check and see if you have a static electric charge going on in there. You know, there's different ways of doing this. And then with that, at least with that, you get some numbers that you can present instead of just a little blinking light and a music box playing. So that's where my focus is. So, hey, Ryan, you may have that same glove guy come on. Probably, Michael. Probably. Uh, maybe we should just open up the chat to the guy. Just let him come in, say what they got to say. Oh, geez, I'll go get my kitchen rubber glove. Let's see. I enjoy Ryan's videos. I like Ryan's videos. I like Michael's videos. You know, he when you used to do the walking in the woods, I like that. And Steve, Nocturnal Frequency Radio, he does some of those sometimes, and those are pretty interesting. There's a few more out there that do that, but I can't catch everybody's lives. I can't catch everybody's videos. I try to show as much support as I can, but I have a lot that goes on during the day. So I try, and I try to catch up with what's on my feed. And then I try to go through on the Discord and try to, you know, show a little bit of love in each channel. But I've got so many of them; it's hard to keep up, and I kind of feel shitty for that. I really do. But there's so many, and I just try to be fair. But all right, we have 10 minutes left to the stream. Doesn't feel like we've been doing that, but my throat definitely says that I've been talking for 2 hours straight. And you can ask Moon. I might say 10 words in 20 minutes most of the time. I don't really talk that much until I get on a good subject. So when I come on these lives, it's usually they've got to be at least a week apart. I'm going to be on a live tomorrow with Michael and Ryan. Gonna be spreading that around. See, I don't think I've had a troll so far. Yeah, they sometimes they're fun, depends on the troll. And sometimes you get a troll in there. I've seen them come in where they're not trying to aggravate anybody, they're just being funny. Let's see. My house was built in 1880. You're surprised how quiet it is, especially when the electricity is off. Yeah, depends on where you're at. Let's see. I've had tons. That's why I do subscribers only mode. Yeah, sometimes you have that. Let's see. It's very hard to keep up with the many paranormal channels. I've tried. Really appreciate all of you guys. Friday is awesome. Friday's weird. Like, share, subscribe, everyone. Let's see. We need Moon on the show. I keep trying to get Moon on here. She doesn't want to be on here. She doesn't. She said the only way that she would get on here is if we were doing the trivia. Well, not everybody likes the trivia, and I'm still working the problems out with that. So I don't know. But yeah, I'd like Moon to come on here and hang out every now and then when she comes in the room while I'm doing it live. I usually like to say, "Hey, come over, say hi." Didn't want to. Let's see. It kind of sucks to have pick and choose, but there are only so many hours, and there is. Um, but I'm technical, and Cree is. You're not wrong. You're not. Um, there are a lot of channels out there that deserve more love. Joe should have had a lot more love for that. He put so much work into it, so much editing. The editing on that thing alone was fantastic. I mean, it was great, but it doesn't get as much love as a lot of the other stuff out there. So I get what she's saying. Let's see. About the same, a bit earlier, but our house is really quiet. Mine's not. My house is very loud. Looking forward to, dude. May have to. Might have sweaty Michael. Got to get the air conditioner looked at tomorrow. Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be warm out there, Mike. I've tried to troll, but I need practice. Might be worthwhile. Maybe. Let's see. Possible to watch all the channels. It's impossible to watch all the channels, but I really try to subscribe to most and help them out, especially the smaller ones. Yeah, that's why I have 300 or something. I've lost count. I don't know how many subscribers I have, or not have. How many I'm subscribed to. Because I'm also subscribed to stuff that has to do with physics, electronics, paranormal, other subjects. I'm subscribed to a few channels that are about near-death experiences. And I don't, I don't believe all of them. Some of them are just bull crap because they're, hey, I had this with all the common tropes. Buy my book. And others, they're telling their story. There's no book or nothing. And I like to hear them. For me, that goes back to the entertainment. But I haven't watched any in a while because after a while they all start to sound exactly the same. You don't get any new information. But I'm still subscribed to them. See, Moon could always join the chat and be on that way, possibly. Right now I hear some chopping going on, so I'm pretty sure she's chopping up. She likes to do fresh veggies with her food, so probably what she's chopping up in there right now. Let's see. Unless something is being thrown, moved. Sometimes I split screen and watch two at once. I have done that, and I'm a little embarrassed to say this, Laura, but I have actually done that with your lives before. Yeah. And a lot of times when you're on lives in the morning, I really don't say anything. I just tune in and I listen while I work on stuff. So I'm there whenever I can be. Michael, every time you put up one of those music things, I do my best while I'm working on stuff. Just put it on and listen. Get that extra number, get that like in there. I'm trying to show it. I'm only one person. See, I'm working tonight while working on a project. I am here and enjoying this. Thank you for being here, Sage. You're awesome. Every one of you in here have been very accepting of me. Most of you from the very beginning. Because I've had this channel since 2020, so it's been around for 6 years. Most of that was electronics, DIY projects. All those videos are gone. I've rebranded a few times and finally landed on paranormal with the electronics and DIY and all that other stuff. So I just kind of melded all my favorite subjects together. But Steve and Laura, y'all were the first to want me to come on the lives. Because I was just getting it out there, and there was some misconceptions. So I was like, well, actually, and that's whenever, for whatever reason, y'all started listening to me. So believe me, I try to be as accurate as I can. If I don't know, then I say I don't know, or it's probably this, or whatever. But I'm not going to get out there and pretend somebody's channeling through me and pretend to be somebody's grandmother, and like I'm a medium or something. I'm not going to get out there and yell, hey, your house is full of demons. I'm not going to say that every light blinking is a ghost. I'm not going to get out there and do that. Now, I would rather explain to you how that light works, than tell you what's setting it off. It's your electromagnetism, James. Yeah. Hey. We are electric. Our bodies is electric. So it can mess with you. Strong magnetic fields can mess with you. Ask anybody who's worked in a hospital. When you go close to that MRI machine, don't move too fast. Because the magnetic field can actually mess with the electricity in your body. And they'll tell you that sometimes. So, yeah, we're electric. See, I've watched 2 and 3 at the same time, but 1 is usually a day's team. I've been lurking and writing lately. It depends on who is on if I ask questions. I get that. And I'm kind of the same way. I mean, sometimes I'm just listening. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Multitasking, because the back of your brain, you're going to be hearing it. But see, Laura has some of the best guests on, I have to say. She does. She does. And when you had Joe on the other night, it was like, hey, tuning in. And I closed every other window. That was a focused one for sure. But it is now 9 o'clock on my end here, and my throat is itching. Pretty sure some of you need something to drink and have to go to the restroom. I know I need to do something about that. So I am going to go ahead and call it a night. And I thank every single one of you for being here, for showing your support. It means a lot to me. It really does. So, let's see. I had a science teacher prove a human's electric field by holding a metal coat hanger by the bottom upright and pointing out. Walk up to someone and the hanger will move out of the way. Depends on their charge. If you got a big enough charge and it has a separate charge, it'll either retract or go away. Let's see. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a great night. Get yourself some rest. I know it's late over there where you're at, Mr. Prism. Y'all have a good night. Have a great one.